What's up? And welcome to Cover Two with B Woo and Earl Knows It All, man. And we got a special edition, man. If you've been under a rock or not under a rock now, a couple hours ago, it finally came out that the Atlanta Falcons, and specifically, I guess you could say Raheem Morris, has decided to bench his starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins. And as you know, if you've been watching this show, man, if you haven't, first and foremost, like, subscribe, comment. We got a lot of great football content for you, NFL content, but if you watch this show, we are a Atlanta Falcons adjacent podcast because one of my co-host, B Woo, is a Falcon fan. And I used to be one before I was, delivered from that affliction of being a Falcon fan, man. As you can see, I say, welcome to the circus, man. It's that's what it is. The Falcons are a team that they seem to just not be able to get out of their way. And this is just another example of that. When you bring in a rookie quarterback and you have a quarterback you're paying $100 million and all of this controversy that kind of comes with that, the chickens have come home to roost. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing you got a first-round quarterback that you can go to now, in week 16 at that. And just a lot of missteps from this organization, man. And it doesn't surprise me because that's what Falcons do, man. Like I said, if you've been under a rock, we are here kind of talking about Michael Penix Jr. being named QB1 for the Atlanta Falcons. He will start against the New York Giants in week 16. And what does that mean? If you're a Falcon fan, how are you feeling right now? I've read a lot of the comments, initial reaction. Even when Raheem came out and said it was non-committal about who's going to be the starting quarterback, a lot of comments saying, okay, finally it's going to happen. We're going to go to Penix now. I don't know if his hand was forced or, if you look at that and say, hey, maybe they should have did this 4 weeks earlier. But the one thing I do know is Atlanta fans seem to be happy about this in the city, man. It's been the talk of the town for, the past, like I said, 3 or 4 weeks, man. And it's been 5 weeks of finally kind of, getting the victory against the Raiders. But it was a showing on that Monday night game that just, I think, was the final straw. If you watched our episode earlier today, you saw that, I predicted that the Falcons would win in a blowout, 42-14. They had every opportunity to do that, man. They left a lot of stuff out there. And the main issue was the quarterback play. They ran the ball well. The offensive line seemed to do a pretty good job. Picked up some penalties and stuff, but Kirk Cousins, another turnover, with an interception and fumble. You got just more bad quarterback play, man. That's the nuts and bolts of it. You win a game 15-9 that you probably against one of the worst teams in the league, and you probably should have blew them away. And I'm sure people were thinking, and maybe at that time Raheem Morris is thinking, man, if we would have put Penix out there, we'd probably put up at least 28 points, maybe 35 or maybe because he's seen this guy. But the thing that gets tricky is they're seeing Penix in practice every week, and I would think that a team that's trying to compete to get to the playoffs, team that's battling for a division title would say, hey, you know what? This guy's going to give us a better chance to win. Now, I understand you got a veteran quarterback, Kirk Cousins, who has a lot of cachet, I guess, coming into this thing. You paid him $140 million, 100 of that guaranteed, or whatever the numbers are. You can go look that up. But, it's interesting that they find themselves in this situation, but it's not surprising. And I predicted this when they drafted Michael Penix. Me and B Woo have talked about this on and off throughout the season, saying, hey, you set yourself up for what's going to happen in week 5 when Kirk Cousins isn't cooking, or what's going, people are automatically going to say, hey, let's go to Michael Penix. Let's go to the rookie. We've heard that all throughout the season. Kirk, at some points, has been able to bounce back, even when he started slow this year. The first game, he didn't look good. And then they were struggling at points in that game against Philadelphia before they won the game, and struggled a little bit against Kansas City in a tight loss, but kind of got things rolling after that, man. They won 5 of their next 6. Or 6-3 at that point, and then the wheels just fell all the way off. He became a turnover machine. He had a 5 interception game in there, I think, against the Chargers, and it was just you can't win that way, man. And it's frustrating as a fan base, I'm sure, when the guy you paid all this money to is struggling, and the coach keeps coming back with comments like he's the reason we're here. He's the quarterback play. We're not an organization that's going to just get rid of our guy. bounce back and forth. We're not that kind of organization. Those organizations don't fare well. He said that last week, and then they benched him right afterwards. So I don't know, like I said, if his hand was forced. I don't know if this was something he maybe wanted to do, but maybe the higher ups were saying, hey, I paid this guy all this money. Make it work with him. Fix him. You and Zach Robinson get together and figure something out. Because the game plan against the Raiders was even, it looked like the game plan the Raiders had. Hand the ball off. Don't make no mistakes. It was almost like you were back with Desmond Ritter at quarterback. I told B. Woo that. I said, man, worse than losing to Desmond Ritter is your quarterback becoming Desmond Ritter. You got to hand the ball off every time in an NFL game because you can't trust your quarterback. And you're paying this guy $45 million this year. He's a cap hit for that, $100 million guarantee. He's going to get paid. He's got a tremendous agent. I need to holler at him to see if we can give him some work some deals for me and B. Woo. But it's really just it's kind of fascinating to see that the Falcons find themselves in this situation, man. And I just want to kind of open things up for Falcons fans and say, hey, I'm sure you guys are feeling good right now. When you wake up on Wednesday morning, the sun is going to shine a little brighter, I'm sure. Hope is going to spring eternal, but the real, facts of this situation are you got a rookie quarterback who has only had 5 passes in his career, made 2 appearances, and that was handing the ball off pretty much, going into week 16 starting for you, and you're in a playoff hunt in a division race. That's what you've been left to do now. Now, there's some models that have shown that this could work. Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson, and I definitely don't want to compare Penix to Lamar Jackson. They both play quarterback, and they both black. That's about where it starts and ends with them. But we've seen this kind of thing play out before with Lamar Jackson kind of taking over late in the season for the Ravens his rookie year after being a late first-round pick and guiding them into the playoffs and then kind of hitting the ground rolling after that. So maybe this can work. The Ravens are a team that I talk about a lot that I like. But I feel like you're setting Michael Penix Jr. up for failure. And that was kind of what Raheem Morris was saying. We don't want to rush this guy. We don't want to, set him up for failure. But you kind of come out and you're left no choice because of the way Kirk Cousins is playing, man. And I'm sure the defensive effort that those guys have given after being, lambasted after that game against Denver, people were like, oh, Bo Nix killed them. And everyone was like, fire Jimmy Lake. This defense can't get a pass rush. We can't do anything. They come out and answered all those questions since that game, since that bye week, man. They come back. They've gotten a pass rush. They forced some turnovers in this game. Of course, Jesse Bates getting the interception to win the game against the Raiders. But you're still having situations where now the quarterback play is not where it needs to be. And, you've had a kicker that's cost you some games too as well. Missed another field goal. That game was a microcosm of what this season's been for the Falcons. Started out pretty good for Kirk Cousins. They got on the board. He got a 30-yard touchdown pass to Drake London. Like the season, kind of, started a little shaky, but get the ball rolling. Look like you're getting into a groove and then sputter out after that. So if I'm a Falcon fan right now, which I want to make clear that I am not, I don't know that I'm so excited. I think Michael Penix Jr. has the ability to be a good quarterback, but you got to look at the people who are in charge of his career at the moment, man. And the situation kind of can make or break what you're going to be as a player in this league. Now, not saying that he has some pretty good weapons around him. He has a good running game, obviously, pretty good offensive line. If he can move, if he's not a statue back there like Kirk Cousins has been, he should be okay. He's not a running quarterback. He's had some ACL injuries in his career, but he's more mobile than what 38-year-old coming off an Achilles injury. I can't move. Kirk Cousins, man, as my guy Ryan Stewart calls him affectionately, the Gimp. I just think it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Now, I thought this game against the Raiders probably would have been a good opportunity to start him because the Raiders are so bad, and maybe they didn't want to give him a Monday night game and the travel and all that stuff. But I thought that would have been a pretty good opportunity to let him get his feet wet. They didn't decide to do that. The Giants are still a bad team as well. So you got an opportunity still against the Giants to make something shake in that particular instance. But right after that, and that's another announcement, I guess, the game against the Commanders has been flexed out to a Sunday night game now. So he'll be in the bright lights after that, man, against potential, and I'll say it, offensive rookie of the year. Maybe they try to get the Bo Nix, but Jaden Daniels had a pretty good start to the season. Potential quarterback duel, rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, he'll go against him on Sunday night. Dan Quinn, former Falcons coach. I'm sure he wants to, kind of right some wrongs from his old boss, Arthur Blank, and those guys. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, man. 3 games left in the season. 2 very winnable games against the Panthers and the Giants, and you got a Sunday night showdown against playoff contender as well, a team that's currently in the playoffs, team that you're fighting to kind of catch maybe as a wild card team if you can't win the division, and that could be in front of you too, because the Commanders got the Eagles coming up. That very well could be a loss. Fly, Eagles, fly, my guys. They should handle their business. So you'd be 1 game behind the Commanders coming into that game. If you handle your business against the Giants, you win that game, you get a tiebreaker. You hope for some help maybe from the Cowboys or Saints or Panthers against the Buccaneers, and maybe you can get into the playoffs, catch lightning in a bottle. Who knows, man? This can go either way. But you guys tell me what you think. Comment below if you're a Falcon fan. We got a lot of y'all out there that are fans of this show. Tell us what you think, man. Are you happy? I know that's your initial reaction. Hey, finally. I've been seeing that already in the comments as I look on Instagram and Twitter when this announcement was made by the Falcons. But digging a little deeper, do you think this has the potential to be, okay, let's hit the ground running and we can make a run now? Or is this going to blow up in the Falcons' face? Have you lost all faith because you're a Falcon fan and you know how this usually goes? Do you think, oh, man, we're going to find out that Michael Penix Jr. isn't that guy and we drafted him? I don't think you can judge him on these 3 games, although, like I said, 2 of them are very winnable, but he's getting put into a tough place, a tough spot. So it'll be fun to see what happens. I'm gonna be locked in, of course, and we're gonna continue to give you some of the best coverage you can find in the NFL. And we'll definitely keep an eye on this, man. My guy B Woo, of course, wasn't able to jump on with me, so I'm sure he'll have thoughts and notes that he'll bring on our next episode that we drop. But yeah, you guys tell me what you think, man. If you're a Falcon fan right now, are you feeling like, hey, man, this is a good thing, good opportunity? I wish this would have been done earlier. Are you mad at Raheem? What does this mean for Terry Fontenot? That's another question. Terry Fontenot, GM, he's kind of been called to the carpet on the Arthur Smith hire, on the Marcus Mariota signing, on the Desmond Ritter drafting and making him the quarterback. We had questions about that last year about who was making these decisions. Was it Arthur Smith? Was it Terry Fontenot? The Falcons say, oh, it was a collaborative effort. Who knows if that's the case? Was it Rich McKay? Rich McKay said, no, I don't do anything with the football operations. But if you've been in Atlanta and you've been around this franchise, you know he has the ear of Arthur Blank. And ultimately, I think that's where the buck stops with Arthur Blank. He's the guy that signs the checks. Arthur Blank is 82 years old. He has a health issue right now. Hopefully he can pull through that. But I'm sure Arthur Blank, who has aspirations to bring a Super Bowl championship to the Falcons, he's been trying to do that. I give him credit for that. He went all in on Kirk Cousins, man. And unfortunately, when you go all in on him, you're going to crap out, man. And we've seen that. We've seen that with the Washington football team. We saw that with the Minnesota Vikings. They moved on from him. And Sam Darnold's having a great year now. And, that team is continuing to roll without Kirk Cousins. Can the Falcons kind of catch that lightning in the bottom? No, they moved on from Kirk Cousins, too. We'll see. Who knows, man? You guys tell me what you think, man. Make sure that you like this video. Share it with anybody that you know that's a Falcon fan, that's a football fan. And like I said, if you're new here, man, we do this every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We recap what's happening in the NFL, man. Give our takes. We are the show of the people, man. We are the voice of the people. So make sure you tell a friend, man. And as we always say, tell a hater. We love the haters, too. If you hate what we're doing here, man, if you hate the way we feel about the Falcons, if you hate that I'm not a Falcon fan anymore, people say I'm a bandwagon jumper, we welcome you too, man. So, like I said, thank you guys, man, for watching the show. And again, we'll see what happens, man. It's the most wonderful time of the year because Christmas is coming up just a week away. But now you maybe got an early Christmas gift for your Falcon fan, or maybe you got a lump of coal, man. Who knows? We'll see, man. We'll see you guys back here on Tuesday for our next episode, man. You guys take care. Thank you for watching, and peace.